Good evening to everyone, and welcome to our beautiful University of North Carolina at Pembroke. I'm Rebecca Lowry, Director of Alumni Affairs and Annual Giving at this great institution, and I want to welcome you to tonight's event. In honor of homecoming in this prestigious ceremony, I would like to begin, even though you just have eaten, by singing the alma mater. So if you would oblige me and stand, please. And we'll sing the alma mater's on the back of your program if you don't know the words. It's here. I'll lead you off. I know some of you haven't sang this in quite some time. Everybody ready? You got your words? All right. Where Carolina's lofty pine trees pierce the southern blue, proudly stands our alma mater, courageous, strong, and true. Black and gold float on forever, symbol of loyalty. Pembroke, our alma mater, hail to UNCP. Nice job. You may be seated. Thank you again for joining us on this prestigious evening. We want to welcome you back home and welcome you to our beautiful university. At this time, I would like to please welcome our leader, Dr. Cummings. Chancellor, please make your way to the stage.
Well, good evening. Recognizing we're celebrating 2 years this year, so it's a bit crowded, but isn't it fantastic to be back together? Go away, COVID. I am tired of me some COVID. But thank you, Rebecca. You know, Rebecca's a two-time UNCP graduate, and she's doing a fantastic job as our new alumni director. Please join me in recognizing Rebecca and welcoming her. And let me add my welcome home to your university, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. What a great homecoming week that we've already had, but it's not over yet. Our theme this year was Back Like We Never Left. Now, I hope you are really experiencing that emotion if you're returning back to our campus as an alum. But I also hope that you do see that a lot has changed and a lot is going on the University of North Carolina Pembroke campus. Our week continues tonight with Vanilla Ice. Now, I don't know vanilla, but, we'll see. I guess I'm showing my old age or whatever, I don't know. But he'll be in GPAC later tonight. I understand there are still tickets available, so let us know if that's an issue, and we'll take care of that. And then tomorrow, we take on the Golden Eagles of the University of Charleston at West Virginia, and last time I checked, Braves always use eagles. We train eagles. We give away eagle feathers. So, in fact, Braves are one of the people in the U.S. who can actually work with eagle feathers. But we're going to really handle them tomorrow. We're looking forward to a great, great game. I hope all of you will plan to attend. So celebrating our Alumni Award Winners and Hall of Fame inductees is a highlight. It really is a highlight of every year as we get to recognize the great things that Brave Nation has accomplished individually and collectively in athletics. And I want to say to begin, congratulations to all the recipients. Trust me, you went through a extreme, real vetting process. And I was so appreciative to have the opportunity to review all the recipients and participate in that process. But let me assure you that your legacy at UNCP lives on, and it's one that you and your family can be proud of. Let me assure you also that you have much of which to be proud when it comes to your alma mater. I've said in the past The University of North Carolina at Pembroke will define its future by our ambitions, by our actions, and not as defined by others. My fellow Braves, our future is indeed promising. UNC Pembroke began this semester with tremendous momentum. Our fourth year of an increased record enrollment, 8,319 students. That's 33% growth over the last 4 years. Let's go for the next 4, okay? 10,000, 12,000. Now, many of you are aware that UNC Pembroke is one of 3 schools that participates in the North Carolina Promise program. And this program is very simple. Any North Carolina resident who gains admission to one of those 3 schools, in this case UNC Pembroke, is guaranteed to pay only $500 in tuition per semester for 4 years. That's an incredible deal, folks. That's an incredible opportunity for people to get their education. For quite simply, what that means, if you're a North Carolina resident, you're guaranteed by getting accepted over a $10,000 scholarship from the state of North Carolina for 4 years. And if you're out of state, it increases to $40,000 over 4 years. And that's because there is a difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition and so forth. But it's $10,000 in-state, $40,000 out-of-state. That's what you call making a higher education affordable. But we're mostly growing because of our personal support that we provide to our students. And as your chancellor, I hear it week after week over the last 7 years now. The experience that our students have here at UNC Pembroke, just like many of you had when you were a student here. But let me tell you a few things that are going on around campus. Our new $38 million School of Business James Thomas building will finally be complete in December, and it will open for students in January. It's right here, go by. And I welcome you all to come back in the spring semester when we have that ribbon cutting. That is a beautiful building inside. It's incredible outside, but the inside is really, really beautiful. And our new $14 million renovation of West Hall has been completed. And the Board of Trustees has voted to name that building the Joseph B. Oxendine Administrative Building. And that ribbon cutting also will take place in the very near future. Now, if any of you lived in West Hall and you go back and look, trust me, it's going to be an aha, jaw-dropping moment. We really, really changed that building in a very beautiful way. But along with all this reconstruction and all the renovations going on, we've also worked to improve our academic programs to make them more competitive for our students. We're working to add a cybersecurity program here at UNC Pembroke. Students completing this 4-year degree program are guaranteed to find a job in today's world, and that when they leave here, they will be guaranteed to receive an incredible salary, starting in the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 range, depending on certifications that they might have. So we plan to bring that degree here in the very near future. We're developing a degree in agri-science because in this region, UNC Pembroke should play a role in agriculture, and we deserve that, our students deserve that, and the region deserves that. And thanks to a generous $6 million gift from former UNCP trustee Marianne Elliott, we recently celebrated the establishment of the Mackenzie Elliott School of Nursing. And yes, that's the... And we'll soon add our first doctoral program at UNC Pembroke, which will be a Doctor of Nursing practice. And I might add that our MBA online program was the 3rd fastest growing MBA online program in the nation last year. Very, very proud. But let me end by talking about athletics for just a moment. And Dick, I hope I don't steal any of your thunder. But I'm very proud of our athletic programs. We're having an impressive season. We've had impressive seasons. Last year, our Braves captured 3 conference titles. 5 of our coaches won conference recognition for their success. Presently, our ladies swim team, which was just formed 5 years ago, is ranked number 8 in the nation, Division II. And we have several of our swimmers who hold titles or records in their individual events. And I could go on, I'm going to stop because I suspect Dick will tell you more about that. But more importantly than all of those things, that makes me so gratified as a chancellor that our student athletes are performing in the classroom as well. In the Peach Belt Conference last year, UNC Pembroke, listen to this, UNC Pembroke sent more than 100 of our student athletes to the Presidential Academic Honor Roll last year, and this is the 12th year in a row that we've sent more than 100 student athletes to that prestigious honor roll. And what that tells me is that with our students, we're positioning UNC Pembroke student athletes for success here as well as after they graduate. Just today, over at the house, we welcomed a group of former alums, and I heard one individual tell me from his experience in the mid-1970s how his coach, his wrestling coach, Dan, you probably know Coach Olson, how Coach Olson shaped his life as a student, and he says it continues to impact me even today, decades later. That's having real impact in a person's life. How precious is that? But UNC Pembroke is working hard to achieve excellence in all that we do. We offer a high quality, low cost, exceptional educational experience in an environment that supports the student every step of the way. Because at the end of the day, it's about our students. I tell our folks, it's all about the student. Without the student, we have no reason to be here. If our students are successful, then we are successful. And you, each of you, you've proven that to be true. Your lives, your success in life are the stories that shape this university's past, shape its present, and will shape its future. When speaking to students, I use some of your stories to show them that you can start here and go anywhere. To our Alumni Award winners, again, Hall of Fame inductees, congratulations, congratulations. What a true, true honor to be here tonight. Thank you for making UNC Pembroke proud. Thank you for being part of our story. Indeed, black and gold float on forever, and go Braves!
At this time, we will welcome Mr. Chris Peterkin, President of the Alumni Association, and following him will be Mr. Dick Christie. He will begin the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees.
Good evening. Feels good to be back. It feels good like we're back like we never left. And, you know, on behalf of Chancellor Cummings, thank you for your leadership, sir. First Lady Cummings, thank you. Thank you. It truly is a privilege and an honor to represent the Alumni Association and the thousands of alumni on this momentous occasion. Congratulations again to the Hall of Fame inductees, as well as our Alumni Award winners. The process of the awards, as the Chancellor mentioned, it was vetted. It wasn't just a random pick of a name. We feel good about it. We analyzed a lot of things when it came to the decision making. And some of the UNCP Alumni Board of Directors, I want to thank you. Truly want to thank you so much. You're a phenomenal board. We come together, we work together. You already know I'm the thank you man in all of our meetings. So I really appreciate you so much. So this evening, I want you to sit back, look at the accomplishments of these great individuals, and just know that we all are a family. We can achieve great things as long as we stick together, and I hope everybody enjoys the evening. Thank you. And now I would like to present Mr. Dick Christie, Director of Athletics.
Good evening. Somebody moved my notes. Joke's on you, I found them. I am honored to be here with you tonight, and I'm extremely appreciative to our advancement staff, Vice Chancellor Varley and his leadership, particularly Rebecca, our director of the Alumni Association, and the leadership that brings us together as such a good partnership event to be able to honor our most distinguished alums in whatever capacity they served as an undergrad. Is truly special, and to get that much talent and that much success under one roof and be able to produce it like we're doing tonight, it is truly something that we can share with our students as motivation, and something, as the Chancellor said, that we can show them what they can strive for when they leave UNC Pembroke. I also want to thank some of our production team. I want to thank Penny Oxendine, who runs the annex, for all the work that went into tonight. Todd Anderson, Morgan Sheehan, Zach, all of our staff that helps to produce what you will see tonight to honor our inductees. Andrea Branch, a number of others that I've not had the opportunity to mention, Sodexo, and our entire team that makes it a first-class catering operation. Thank you all to make this night possible. As Chris said, my name is Dick Christie, and I've had the privilege of being the athletic director here, now heading into my 9th season. It has absolutely flown by, and during that time, I've had the opportunity to watch almost 50 inductees through this process get the chance to be enshrined and go into the Athletics Hall of Fame for very, very worthy accomplishments. It's truly a prestigious group, and it's humbling to get to interact with you in this way. Chris and Rebecca talked a little bit about the Alumni Association selection process. I did want to talk a little bit about our Hall of Fame process. We've been fortunate in recent years to increase the capacity of inductees per year to 5, which has really allowed us to catch up with some of the great history that UNC Pembroke has, and try and get some of those inductees that have been extremely worthy over the years and maybe just haven't had an opportunity to be selected. So you've seen a great representation over the last 6-7 years of class years, sports, genders. We really have a very representative Hall of Fame group, and we have no one more to thank than our Hall of Fame committee, who puts in the work to vet some really, really worthy candidates. That process, we have an internal and external nomination process, so that 5-person committee has to review a list of anywhere from 10 to 20 people, all of which there's a good chance that they were an All-American at some point. So you can imagine how difficult it is to pare that down to just 5 worthy inductees. So I wanted to thank our Hall of Fame committee. We have a couple of members who are here tonight, but particularly thanking Dr. Calvina Ellerby, our faculty rep, Crystal Moore and Tom Gardner, who are with us here tonight, Melanie Cobb, also a Hall of Famer in soccer, and Jordan Sampson, our Braves Club representative. I know Jeremy, his brother, is here tonight as well. So round of applause for that committee. Thank you guys so much for your leadership. If we have any current Hall of Fame members, the nice thing about being able to honor 2 classes is we have so many people here to support and reconnect with teammates. If you're a current member of the Athletics Hall of Fame, please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your contributions, and thank you for your leadership. Thank you so much for being here to support our newest members. With that, we're going to jump right in. Tonight's first inductee placed her name all over the women's basketball record book, particularly as a prolific scorer. Let's take a look at tonight's first inductee of the 41st class of UNCP, who made our basketball program extremely dominant back in the Carolinas Conference.
Teresa Carl, a scoring machine for the women's basketball team from 1985 to 89, Teresa Carl etched her name into the record books as the program's first All-American following a 1988-89 season that saw her average 13 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 2.5 assists an outing. An NAIA All-District and All-Carolinas Conference performer as well, Carl would go on to log 1,365 points during her career in the black and gold, and currently ranks 8th on the program's all-time scoring list.
My name is Teresa Carl. I went to, at the time it was Pembroke State University, and now it's UNC Pembroke, from the years of 1985 through 89. It was truly an honor and a blessing, you know, to be selected among such outstanding athletes, you know, and when I got the call, I was just shocked and amazed, like, wow, 30 years? As a freshman, when I first got there, it was just, the people were amazing. They took a chance on me, and I didn't disappoint them. You know, we gave it our all, and I'm thankful for my teammates and friends that I met through the way at Pembroke. The bond that our team had, we were a handful. That freshman class was a handful, but we made it through. I wouldn't give anything up for it in the world. I went back a couple of years ago, and I was just shocked and amazed how it's so different. I love it, it's different. It's just, it's amazing. You know, being able to receive this accomplishment and this award, I truly am thankful and grateful. I would just like to thank the committee for selecting me, my family, friends, my teachers, coaches, my classmates, my teammates. I'd like to thank everyone, because without them, this day wouldn't be possible, because they helped me along the way. I just thank everyone.
Just a couple of quick notes. As our inductees are enshrined, we'll have them come forward with the Chancellor here. In addition to the plaque tonight, our inductees will receive a plaque, which is on a container ship anchored somewhere off Seattle right now, but we should have it very soon. Another thing that we've started this year is a induction lapel pin. So there will be a Hall of Fame lapel pin. We hope that our inductees will wear that with pride. If you are a current member, we have Mr. Ronnie Chavis, Mr. Tim Brayboy, and Mr. Ray Brayboy, current inductees, to thank for that creative brainstorm this summer. So if you're a current inductee, we have one for you tonight that will make sure we get you as well. Please join me in welcoming the first member of the 2020 Hall of Fame class, ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Carl. In addition to the plaques, all of our team inductions typically receive a medallion, almost like an Olympic medal. That will be received by the team induction tonight. Another great addition, if you were able to visit us this spring, will be a new interactive Hall of Fame display, thanks to our communication staff. In addition to be able to honor not just the image of our Hall of Fame inductees, we'll actually be able to have a bio of the achievements. So it'll be a touchscreen board and something that will allow you to really get in and dive into the history of UNC Pembroke. So we're excited about that. Our next inductee is joining a large fraternity of former baseball legends that are within this Hall of Fame group. But he is one of the very few who has garnered attention from major league organizations, and even rarer to be named the conference Male Athlete of the Year, not just baseball player, really throughout our history. Let's learn a little bit more about this 2020 inductee.
Johnny Dial, a two-time NAIA All-District and All-Carolinas Conference honoree, Johnny Dial helped lead the baseball program to winning records in each of his 2 seasons in the black and gold, including a senior campaign in 1984 that saw him hit .492 with 13 home runs and 37 RBIs, on the way to raking an NAIA All-America accolade as well. After playing his first 2 seasons at Southeastern Community College, Dial made his debut for the black and gold in 1983, a memorable one when he tallied 12 home runs and 28 RBIs in just 31 games. He would go on to earn Carolina's Conference Male Athlete of the Year honors the following season.
My heart's pounding.
It's all right.
If you see me get a little choked up, it's because it meant a lot. My name is Johnny Dial. Baseball, 1983, 84-ish. I just can't say enough how much this award means to me. Back playing Little League Baseball, we actually played, we had a field right here beside where the old gym used to be. Walking these grounds as an 8, 9, 10-year-old, walking in the gym and seeing those pictures on the walls back then and dreaming of one day being on that wall. If it wasn't for UNCP, I probably wouldn't have my family now. I actually met my wife here at UNCP, and now because of that and UNCP, I have her, I have 2 awesome sons who brought me 2 daughters and now 2 grands. So without UNCP, that may have never happened. First of all, none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for my Lord. He was the reason that I did well then, and he's still the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing today. The sacrifices that my grandparents made for me when they didn't have a lot, when we didn't have a lot. An uncle and aunt that when my grandparents couldn't do, they stepped in. My Uncle Grady, countless hours, and then come home to me begging him, throw me baseballs, hit me baseballs. It's family and it's friends and coaches and stuff like that that means so much, and that I want to thank so much for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help us to recognize the All-American, Johnny Dow. Our next inductee has truly been the fabric of our track and field community, from his days as a standout athlete to coach to head coach to the biggest supporter that we've had over the last 10 years. In my 9 years at Pembroke, I'm not sure that I've met someone who is more universally beloved, respected, admired. I know that there are a lot of folks cheering both in the room and externally for tonight's selection. Let's take a closer look at his distinguished career.
Larry Rogers, an accomplished student athlete for the cross-country and track and field programs from 1969 to 73, Larry Rogers also served as the head coach for both programs from 1995 to 2011. He earned All-America honors as a member of the 440-mile relay in 72, picked up a trio of all-district honors as a hurdler and a sprinter, and was also a member of 3 district championship cross-country teams as well. The 2011 USTF-CCCA Southeast Region Coach of the Year, skippered the men's and women's cross-country programs to 8 NAIA district titles and 1 conference championship, while leading the track and field squads to 10 Carolinas Invitational titles as well.
Larry Rogers, 1968-1973. It's truly a blessing to be honored as an inductee into the UNCP Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2020. Some of my fondest memories were those of the faculty, staff, and administration here because they gave a lot of support, encouragement, and help. And Dr. Nadeau in the physical education department, he was always gung-ho, very excited when he was teaching. Just make you want to learn more and, of course, pay attention. Dr. Charles Jenkins, every time I got a paper back from him, whether it was a test or a paper I had to write, he would always put positive comments on those papers. Some other things that I remember, basketball games. Of course, it was in the old gym then, and it was kind of tight. We would always pack it out, just about every ball game. Well, there was a lot of pride in wearing the black and gold. We had to, what you might say, prove ourselves, so to speak, being a small school in the UNC system. But one thing about UNC Pembroke, we were very competitive, especially in cross country and track. Well, first of all, I want to give honor and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who's been the guiding light that has brought me to this point in my life. I certainly would like to thank my coach when I was here, Dr. Ed Crane, for being the role model that helped to mold and guide my career as a teacher and coach. Big shout out or big thanks to the following. First of all, starting off with my parents and my brother and sister, who always supported me in athletics, even through high school and when I was in college. And of course, my high school football coach, who really got me started in track. And certainly my wife and my children for all the support that they gave me throughout the years, not only as a coach here, but also as an athlete. And of course, UNCP family, I want to thank all of them, coaching staff, my colleagues, all my assistants that I had throughout the years, administration, the faculty, staff, and certainly the selection committee. So thank all of those. And the Pembroke community as well. And certainly, last but not least, I just want to thank all my fellow teammates and all the young men and women that I coached over the years. And it's a very humbling experience, and it's an experience that I will always cherish.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in honoring our next 2020 Hall of Fame inductee, Coach Larry Rogers. Tina, I know you're going to keep video in the rest of the show, but we are producing it in the back. You don't have to block the soccer team's view down the aisle. For anybody, we are going to make the videos available, so you can let everybody enjoy the moment. Yeah. To be top 10 in wins, really in anything or any sport, is pretty impressive over the lifetime of a program. To do it in a program that's been around 60 years and really has never had a streak where it has been unsuccessful is pretty special. And to do that difficult feat is really a testament to the amazing consistency of tonight's next inductee. Let's hear a little bit more about this worthy selection.
Greg Sheely, a four-time NAIA All-District performer for the wrestling team from 1976 to 80, Greg Sheely earned All-America honors as a senior in 1979 with a sixth-place finish in the 190-pound tournament at the NCAA Championships. A four-time All-District and three-time All-Carolinas Conference selection, Sheely racked up 122 victories over 4 seasons in Pembroke, including 35 as a junior and 37 more as a senior. His career victory count currently ranks 7th on the program's all-time wins list.
December of 80, but they only have one graduation at the time, so I officially didn't graduate till 81. So it means a lot because I've always looked at it. I've known several people, friends and acquaintances that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's an honor to be inducted with, like I said, with the coach being involved in the same one that he's been in, and several of the other wrestlers that I wrestled with. The one thing that I can say about Pembroke is the memories that you make when you go in there, but being able to hang out with my friends, going into the student center, going throughout the campus and being involved with other athletes, even in other sports, you know, meant a lot to me. But the main thing that I took away from Pembroke is the memories that I made with people that was around me and that I was with while I was there. You know, that's one thing that nobody can ever take away from me. The time that I had wrestling there, my accomplishments there in the wrestling team. I'm proud of the fact now that the program's on a good footing. I give all glory and honor to God, to Jesus Christ, my Savior, to God for giving me strength and being able to perform. I want to also give thanks to my teammates on the wrestling team, you know, the Willie Dyes, the Steve LaPrads, the David Millers, you know, I can go on down the list. And the coaches, Coach Olson, Larry Bridgewater, assistant coach, Bob Hutkins, you know, all these guys are means a lot to me. And although I may not see them, when I do see them, it's like we never missed a beat. So with the people and the friends I've made, the relationships that I had, the memories that were made there while I was at Pembroke, was really have been a part of me and a part of my life, and will always be a part of my life and myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our newest member, Greg Sheely. And now for our final inductee of the 2020 class. You know, Hall of Fame selection very often is associated with individual achievement, what you were able to accomplish. And while there were a number of individual stars and current Hall of Famers among our next selection, what truly set them apart was the excellence that they were as a collective and the history that they made for the institution. This group is only the second team induction that we've had in our Hall of Fame's history, following the 78 cross-country national champions. And they are really the team that put the stake in the ground for UNC Pembroke at the Division II level to say, yes, we can compete at the highest level in Division II. Let's take just a look at a few of the things that made them so special.
The 2004 men's soccer team, paced by a quintet of all-region standouts, including All-American Sasha Gorez, the 2004 men's soccer team registered a 6-3-0 record on the way to earning a trip to the NCAA Final Four in Wichita Falls, Texas. Fueled by a perfect 7-0-0 record away from Pembroke, the Braves captured both the Peach Belt Conference regular season and tournament championships, and then posted shutouts in their first two NCAA tournament outings, including a 1-0 home triumph over Central Arkansas that sent the black and gold to the NCAA semifinals.
My name's Mike Schaefer, and I came to UNC Pembroke when it was Pembroke State University back in 1980. I retired from coaching after the 2009 season. The 2003 and 4 team was a very, very special team, but I really think it got started the year before. The 2003 team only lost 1 game out of 20, and that game was in overtime. But that team, I think, gave us the belief that we could compete at a national level. They were determined that we were going to win a championship, win a national championship, and we came very, very close.
But the core of that team all graduated for Pembroke, right? And I think it's interesting, like, when people are like, sometimes at the time it was like, oh, you've got all these guys in that like, they're just on exchange. It was like, that wasn't the case. 8 of the starters in pretty much every game graduated out of Pembroke. That's the bottom line. The team chemistry was really good.
The team did things together, were very active in participating in things on campus and doing things as a group. Anytime a team has great success like that, there's a lot of people involved.
It's a massive, massive honor, I guess. And you know what? I still talk to a lot of the guys from the team quite regularly. And I think for us, it's obviously a huge sense of pride, but the fact that there's no men's soccer team anymore, like that, I think that really means a lot to the guys, actually, that it's there and people will remember the fact that there was a men's soccer program, right, for a long time. To get to a national championship's a big deal.
Obviously, Marco Janae, my assistant coach, very important to the process. The 2 assistant coaches I had previously to those 2 years, Chris Little and Eric Alsop, I'd like to give a shout out to them because they certainly helped put the team together.
Just a brilliant, brilliant experience and something we're immensely proud of. Yeah.
So before we call these guys up, if you'll just indulge me for a second, we heard Coach Rogers talk about what a great coach Ed Crane was. And after we inducted the '78 National Championship team, Coach Crane felt it necessary to coach me up on how we should induct a team. So making sure, particularly for the guys due to COVID restrictions who could not make it over from overseas, make sure that we honor every member of that team and we'll have the opportunity to call their names out. So if you just hold on for a second. I know we got 14 guys that are watching overseas, and for our fans who were not able to attend tonight, I just want to take a brief moment to mention all the contributors for that team. If I mispronounce a name, that's Coach Schaefer's fault because he coached me up earlier today. Fernando Abanza, Gabe Askins, Oscar Baitar, Dom Belota, Wes Bowers, Jan Brozite, Andrew Brown, Chad Carlisle, John Cooper, Mircha Kosak, Avery Croto, Ali Erdal, Chris Gilbert, Sasha Gorez, Eric Hayworth, Tommy Lindell, Graham Little, Tom Martin, Arthur Mellers, Trond Meerland, Evan Salibi, Richie Sallin, Jose Sanchez, Marcus Sessica, Sinan Tumkaya, Rudy Vogel, Joe Warenda, Edmundo Zumarina, Mike Zindros, Assistant Coach Marco Janae, Assistant Coach Lappy Lapena, and Head Coach and Hall of Famer Mike Schaefer. Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize our final 2020 inductees, the 2004 Final Four participants, UNC Pembroke men's soccer team. Congratulations, guys. All right, I am going to turn over the next segment of our program to our Alumni Director, Rebecca Lowry.
The Office of Alumni Engagement works together with the UNCP Alumni Association and its Board of Directors to engage, educate, reconnect alumni to UNCP. As an association, we are working to enhance and advance the reputation of our great institution, our alumni, and future graduates who will join the ranks of more than 30,000 UNCP alumni. Throughout the year, we host a variety of programs, events, and services to encourage UNCP alumni to discover the ways they can stay involved with their alma mater. The UNCP Alumni Association presents several distinguished awards each year to alumni and graduating seniors and those who have shown exceptional dedication to and support of the great university. Honoring the achievements and service of members of the brave nation is extremely important to our Alumni Association. The most public way we honor our alumni is here at our Alumni Awards banquet during homecoming. The success of this program and the quality of our award winners depends upon the letters and nominations from our community members and alumni who recommend fellow Braves for our awards. The Office of Alumni Affairs, we accept nominations for the following awards: Distinguished Alumni Service Award, Outstanding Alumnus Award, and the UNCP Alumnus of the Year Award. It brings me great honor to introduce the 2020 Distinguished Alumni Service Award recipient and the 2020 Outstanding Alumna Award this evening. The 2020 Distinguished Alumni Service Award recipient represents loyalty, dedication, service to our nation, and beyond. He is hardworking, humble, and extremely deserving of this award. Please take a moment to learn about the 2020 Distinguished Alumni Service Award recipient.
Ronnie Sampson, a first-generation college student, Sampson earned his bachelor's degree from then Pembroke State University in 1984 and completed his postgraduate work in arts and education at PSU in 1987. In addition to his outstanding work in the classroom, he's also completed the Air Force ROTC program while in Pembroke and received an officer's commission upon graduating with his master's degree in 1987. A lifelong counselor to both high school and college students, he has also officiated middle and high school sports for more than 25 years and retired in May of 2021 after a 31-year career with the state of North Carolina.
Hello, I'm Ronnie Sampson, class of 1984, undergraduate, and in return and got a graduate degree in 1987.
What pride do you take in being a graduate of UNC Pembroke?
Well, because I know I'm part of a group of students or alumni that decided to come to UNCP. We always have that bond that we graduated from this institution, and we all love UNCP, and we're going to work to make sure it continues to get better and better. It's great faculty members. I can remember faculty who really took an interest in you, they cared about you as a student. Very surprised to get the award, because I know personally there are hundreds and hundreds of UNCP grads that have went out and been successful. Very proud, very proud. I'll cherish it. It's very important, and just really can't say enough to how happy I am about it. I love my community. I want to do whatever I can to make it as good as possible. Same with the university. UNCP is one of the brightest spots in the county and in the state. It just does so many wonderful things. College life was great here, and wouldn't have traded for anything.
Please welcome Please welcome Mr. Ronnie Sampson, our 2020 Distinguished Alumni Service Award recipient. He will be joining Chris Peterkin, our alumni president, and our chancellor. The 2020 Outstanding Alumni of the Year is no stranger to our community. He has served in numerous capacities, including on our very own UNCP Alumni Board. He is a servant leader, a volunteer, and dedicated community member. Let's learn more about the 2020 Outstanding Alumni of the Year.
Floyd Locklear. A Robeson County native, Locklear graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in social work with a minor in mathematics from then Pembroke State University in 1986. A very active participant in volunteer and community service opportunities, he received the UNC Health Southeastern Bear Award for excellence in employment on 4 separate occasions. He has served on the university in a number of ways, including a 13-year stint on the UNCP GPAC Advisory Board, while also serving as the president of the Alumni Association from 2009 to 2011.
My name is Floyd Locklear. I attended Pembroke State University, which is now the University of North Carolina, from 1981 to 1986. It's an honor to be considered a brave. Knowing the history of the university, my great-grandfather and Allen Oxendine and his father, my great-great-grandfather, James Oxendine, were 2 of the 7 men considered to be founders of the university. Being involved in the social clubs and activities and living on campus helped me to develop into who I am today. Another favorite memory was being selected by the student body as the first Mr. Homecoming back in 1984. That was a truly honor, especially being selected by the student body. And I was actually raised by the community per se. We didn't have much, but there was lots of love. And all it has helped me to stay connected with the university, and it just makes me proud because of the way I was raised. It is an honor. Having served on the Alumni Board for 13 years, I know the process that this takes. I'd like to thank several people. One is Teresa Oxendine Hall. I've got some community people. One is Miss Maxine Amos, who has offered guidance and suggestions along the way. Miss Linda Hedgepeth, who is another, and these are my adopted parents or mothers in a sense, due to the fact that I lost my mom when I was 24. Michael Brown, who is my partner, and he has provided me with guidance as well. It's such an honor to be selected by a group of my peers in reference to what I have done for the community.
Please welcome our 2020 Outstanding Alumnus of the Year, Floyd Locklear. Ready? Toss it back to Dick.
All right, moving right along. I got to be honest, Rebecca and I were a little bit nervous about tonight, trying to truly honor 2 classes in the same year, but looking in hindsight, it was definitely the right decision to make sure we could honor the 2020 class in the right way. And how fantastic is tonight? Have you seen this much talent in one room? Give yourselves a round of applause. Last time there was this much talent in one room was at Pine Forest High School. Dan Kenny got to put the whole 91 team together in one recruiting bid. All right, moving on to our second phase of the evening with the 2021 class. Our first inductee perfected her craft as a long-range shooter, even before the game of basketball evolved into being exclusively three-pointers and needing that skill set. A fact that makes it amazing that she continues to hold the three-point records despite the focus on the game in that now. It's amazing. Let's meet tonight's first 2021 inductee.
Lindsay Barthoff Hansen. Lindsay Hansen played in 104 games from 2003 to 2006 and exited Pembroke with 1,129 career points to cement herself among the most prolific scorers in the history of the women's basketball program. Her career in the black and gold was highlighted by a junior campaign that watched her earn first-team All-Peach Belt Conference honors after connecting on a school record 71 three-pointers while posting a 44.4% shooting range from the perimeter as well. She currently ranks 18th on UNCP's all-time scoring list and still holds program records for single-season three-pointers with 71 and career three-pointers with 190.
It's pretty wild. It feels like a lifetime ago, but also just really, really special. And also on a personal note, it feels good to be taking my family, bringing my family here, and especially my kids, having them see me as someone other than mom, not just as their mom, who achieved something like this with a lot of hard work and persistence. I think that the university is really unique and really special in terms of its diversity and its history. Some of my favorite memories as a student has to do with actually being just out in the community. I loved the town. And then just the people. I had a place that I always would go to for coffee at a gas station, and they knew me by name and I knew them by name. I just loved them. I have a lot of people to thank, actually. Of course, starting with my mom and dad. My dad was at almost every game, just supporting me along the way, just simply believing in me. And that was huge. And then my mom, who was basically my coach up until my college career. It was a really cool bonding experience for her to help me. The countless number of rebounds and passes that she executed for me to get my shot down, all those visits, all those hours at the gym, at the YMCA, I just am so thankful for you, Mom. And also my brother and my sister. I got to play basketball with my sister for 2 years in high school, and man, she was just an animal on the court, and she gave me just a lot more intensity and zest for the game. And then my late brother, who really taught me what hard work looked like. He was just always encouraging me and pushing me, and I'm just forever thankful for him and for my sister. I also really wanted to thank my husband. I actually met my husband during my Pembroke career. He has been my biggest supporter and has meant so much to me. I'm just so grateful for him. And also I want to thank Chancellor Metters. He was a chancellor during my time at Pembroke, and he was another person who just saw the best in me and just always reaching out to me and supporting me. And over the years, even after my career, he stayed in touch, and I just have such a special place in my heart for him. And then others at Pembroke, of course, Coach Haskins. Well, I should back up and say Coach Mitchell first, who recruited me and saw the potential in me. So she's the main reason why I ended up at Pembroke. And then when Coach Haskins took over, it was such a amazing experience, because his basketball knowledge and his character and his personality just brought it to the next level for us almost instantly. And so it was really such a privilege to be playing for him. And all of my teammates from that era, all of them, they were amazing teammates. We just pushed each other, and it was really special.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Hall of Famer Lindsey Hansen. Our next inductee just continues to cement the legacy of the late 70s Ed Crane coached track and field squads. Similar to Lindsey and her three-point records, amazingly, shockingly, impressively, his 400-meter record was so ahead of its time that it still stands as today's school record, even though we have raced that race all 40 years since he's been here. Let's learn more about our next 2021 inductee.
Sam Council, a six-time All-Carolinas Conference honoree from 1978 to 81, Sam Council earned All-America accolades in both the 400-meter run and again as a member of the mile relay squad under legendary track and field head coach Ed Crane in 1979. An NAIA All-District performer as well, Council played a key role in then Pembroke State's run to 4 NAIA district titles, 3 Carolinas Conference crowns, and a trio of top 10 finishes at the NAIA championships. He is still the owner of a 33-year-old school record in the 400-meter run, but can still see his name etched in the record book as a member of a pair of relay squads as well.
Hello, my name is Samuel Council. I was at Pembroke State University from 77 to 82. To me, being in that, that's a great honor. I know it's a lot of sports, and they had a lot of athletes, very good athletes out there. Meeting a lot of different people, having a lot of friends, and competing against other schools and stuff. I really enjoyed that. We were real competitive nationwide, so we had a lot of All-Americans on the team. The school was small enough, to know a lot of the professors and stuff, and they would try to help you any way they could. Going to nationals and doing well at the national level, really enjoying that. All the smaller schools and stuff. We competed well. We won, just like in cross country, won a national championship and finished 4th in the track. It was good to have the opportunity to go to Pembroke and stuff, learned a lot in the classes and stuff. I appreciate that Coach Crane and Coach Rogers, giving the opportunity to be there and can compete, at that level. Hard work's always pay off. It's something that you want out of life, You got to work at it and just do the best you can and keep a positive attitude.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help us recognize All-American and our next Hall of Famer, Sam Council. Congratulations, Sam. Our next inductee has been a fixture at UNCP basketball games, men's basketball alumni functions. If you stay late enough for the alumni function, he's usually the life of the party at that point. Other than a few gray hairs in his goatee, looks like he could still suit up for the Braves. Maybe some mop-up minutes, but he could still get in there. Coached by legends John Haskins and Dan Kenny, our next inductee helped to lead the Braves to one of the most successful stretches in the history of our program. Let's take a closer look at his distinguished career.
Damon Green, An NAIA All-America pick in 1990-91, Damon Green currently ranks 11th on the men's basketball program's all-time scoring list with 1,555 career points from 87 to 91. The Fayetteville product logged time in 115 games over his career on the hardwood and registered 13.2 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 4.3 assists, while shooting 48.7% from the field. His senior campaign also saw him pick up his second straight All-Carolinas Conference nod after turning in 16.6 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 4.5 assists, including a school record 83 three-pointers. Green was a key player on 4 Dan Kinney coached squads that amassed 72 victories from 1988 to 91.
Damon Green, graduate of Pembroke State, 1991. When I go to the gym over the recent years, I made the All-American wall. I was okay with that, but when I started seeing the Hall of Fame, Joe Robish, my best friend, my teammate from high school, college, and he's like a little brother to me. He made it. I seen other guys get on there. It's a great relief, but it feels good. I'm finally in there, so I'm part of a tradition of great athletes that saw the wall at Pembroke State University. My junior year, Coach Kinney moved me to, I played power forward. Usually I'm a two-guard or point guard. And I had a great year. I was all conference, and we won the conference tournament that year. And I was glad to help them guys get that championship that year. My senior year was ranked 4th in the nation starting off. That's the best team I ever been on right there, my senior year. We take a lot of pride in that. Just the atmosphere, the campus atmosphere, the camaraderie, all the students, the mixing pot it has there, everything was lovely about UNCP. Pembroke State University, now UNCP. Coach Kenny, love you, man. Thanks for recruiting me. My parents was there through the thick and thin of it with me when I was there. My sisters, brothers, they were my biggest supporters when I was there. Shout out to you guys for supporting me. Shout out to my family. Dan Kenny, Coach Haskins, love you guys, man. Going to school there, if I had to choose again, I'd do it again.
Please welcome our next 2021 Hall of Fame member, Damon Green. Congrats, Damon. I'm sure you can see by the reactions tonight how truly special it is to be enshrined in this fraternity, to be a champion, to be an All-American, to be a Hall of Famer. Our next inductee, when I had the opportunity to call him and share the news, he was truly moved to be in this year's class. And not only a Hall of Famer, but he will go down as the first position player in the modern era of UNC Pembroke football to be enshrined. Let's hear a little more about our next worthy selection.
Kalen Hann. Hann, who played his first 2 seasons at Bethune-Cookman, earned the UNCP football program's first All-America laurels in 2008 after ranking 3rd nationally with 7 interceptions while also posting 51 tackles, 5 for a loss, and 10 pass breakups. The Homestead, Florida native logged playing time in 30 career games for the Black and Gold and wrapped up his career with 122 tackles, a program best 13 interceptions, and 24 pass breakups. A lethal return man as well, Hann registered a 13.67-yard average on 27 career punt returns and scored a pair of punt return touchdowns over his career. He was a 2-time preseason All-America pick as well.
My name is Kalen Hann. Kalen Hann went to Pembroke from 2008 to 2010. Graduated in 2011. So, oh man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm proud. I'm honored, put a lot of work in, and it finally paid off. So I'm excited for the opportunity to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I bleed black and gold. It was always cold black. That was our thing when we was playing, and I still believe in it. There's no greater honor than the Hall of Fame. So I definitely value that one more. But I take a lot of pride in the All-American honors. My biggest memorable time that I had at Pembroke was with Shane Richardson and Shinnick. He wanted me to move positions. I went to Pembroke to play quarterback. Walking in the field house, Richardson come up to me and he said, "Yo, Kalen," he said, "real athletes play defense." So from that point on, I told Shinnick, I said, "Yeah, I think I want to go play defense," and it changed my life. So I never thought I'd be a defensive back, let alone in the Hall of Fame as a defensive back. So shout out to the family. Shout out for my family, my brothers, my mom, my dad, who's no longer with us, but I know he's watching me too as well. My mom, she's the dearest, so this is for her, this is for you. I love you, and that's it.
Please welcome our newest inductee, Kalen Hand. Kalen, if you got a year left, we can put a jersey on you for tomorrow. We could use it. Okay. See Andrea in the back. I'm sure she'll find a way to make it work. Now our final inductee of the 2021 class, and for this evening, Hall of Fame selections often go one of two ways. We have someone who's honored for their distinguished career and accolades and service while they participated at the institution, or you have somebody who's inducted because they have lived a tremendous life of excellence and service and represented the institution with pride for what they've done in their career. And it's pretty rare that someone gets inducted and would have made it on merits of either achievement throughout their life. Let's take a look at this next inductee and how his contributions garnered so much attention.
Randy Ledford. A legendary high school baseball and football coach at Fayetteville's Southview High School, Randy Ledford began his athletic prowess on the baseball diamond in Pembroke, where he was a two-time All-District and 1975 All-America selection under Hall of Fame head coach Harold Ellen. Ledford posted a team-best runs batted in total as both a junior and a senior in Pembroke, while also leading the Braves in home runs during the 1975 campaign as well. An inductee into the Fayetteville Sports Club Hall of Fame in 2014, Ledford led Southview High School to state baseball and football crowns during the 1991 calendar year.
I'm Margaret Parrish Ledford, and I was married to Randy Ledford, who was a graduate of Pembroke in 1975, and I'm also a graduate of Pembroke. I graduated in 1976. Randy would be so honored to have been selected by the university that he attended, that they thought he was so worthy of the honor because he was a very humble person, but it would really have touched him because he loved that place. He met me there. Our oldest son, Brian, and our youngest son, Bryce, both graduated from Pembroke. So UNCP is very special to us. He was so thankful that Coach Ellen gave him a chance to play at Pembroke. And so we had been married almost 40 years when he passed away, and I always told everybody that I was his biggest cheerleader, his biggest fan. Randy first taught and coached at Westover High School in 1978. It's when he started there, and he was there for 7 years. When he left there, he went to Southview. Also, I found out about how he had helped kids you know, buy their cleats for football, baseball, give them rides home that didn't have a way. He worked so hard all the time. The community was really loved him. What a great person he was. He would have been very touched by all this.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting on Randy's behalf is his lovely wife, Margaret, also Pembroke State graduate. Please help us to recognize our final 2021 inductee, Randy Ledford. Congratulations to all of our Hall of Fame inductees. It's truly one of the highlights of my job, being able to participate in it. Thank you for letting me join you in your celebration tonight. We will have our photographer and step and repeat opportunities once we finish the program tonight. We do still have some award winners up, so I will welcome back to the stage Rebecca Lowry. Thank you all.
So we're moving on to our 2021 group, and they were overwhelmingly impressive. So we'll start with our first recipient, who has excelled in her educational endeavors and career. She is extremely impressive, I've told her several times, and accomplished. Her tenacity was easy to recognize in her nominations packet. Please take a moment to learn more about our 2021 Alumna of the Year.
Jordan Dickerson, a 2016 graduate of UNC Pembroke with degrees in history and political science, Dickerson went on to earn her Juris Doctorate from the University of Virginia School of Law a few years later. While pursuing her law degree at Virginia, she was also inducted into the Raven Society, UVA's oldest and most prestigious honor society. She served as student body vice president and was a standout on the Model United Nations team while excelling in the classroom at UNCP, and currently serves as an assistant public defender in Robeson County, as well as an adjunct professor at UNCP.
My name is Jordan Dickerson, and I was at UNCP from 2013 to 2016. I came here to be a little closer to home, and then I just fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with my professors and the classroom environment, how small and intimate the classroom settings could be, and so I decided to stay. I was a political science major, so Model UN was something that the major, encouraged people who majored in it to do. I met a lot of my friends that I still, or my closest friends today. Got a lot of great experience, got a lot of, I think it kind of helped me, push me to end up going to law school. Just standing up and talking and debating and negotiating. I think UNCP is a phenomenal institution, and I wholeheartedly believe I would not have been able to get into the law school that I did if I had not come here. The people that come to UNCP have a lot of pride in this institution, and for really good reason, and I'm just very proud, and I'm always like, go Braves, go UNCP. I talk about it incessantly, probably to my friends. Something that's very important to me is giving back to places that you come from. UNCP was instrumental in cultivating my career, therefore I think it's important to stay connected to the university and give back in the ways that I can. It means a lot to me that it was very surprising to get the phone call, and I'm just so honored and thankful to be the recipient of the award this year. Shout out Model UN and SGA and the History Department and the Political Science Department. I'm just really blessed and really honored to be the recipient this year.
Please welcome Ms. Jordan Dickerson, our 2021 Young Alumna of the Year. Our 2021 Distinguished Alumni of the Year is from this beautiful community. He is a healthcare provider, great friend to many, and believes in this great institution that gave him the foundation to accomplish his educational goals. We share with you our 2021 Distinguished Alumni of the Year.
Dr. Ramon Jacob Shaw graduated summa cum laude from UNC Pembroke in 1998 with bachelor's degrees in both biology and chemistry, and went on to graduate with honors a few years later from the University of North Carolina School of Medicine. A Green Belt trained physician executive with experience across a number of specialized areas, he currently leads the regional executive team for Oak Street Health in New York, a network of value-based primary care centers for adults on Medicare.
I have been speechless, since I found out about this, completely humbled and honored by it. I mean, every year, listen, I stay connected to UNC Pembroke, and I, with the news and social media and my LinkedIn accounts, and whenever, it comes, that time of year comes around where, it's homecoming or we're recognizing alumni, I am always like supremely impressed with the people that are being recognized. To even be kind of counted in that caliber of alumni, I've just been honored and humbled by the whole of the thing. I'm immensely proud of my time at UNC Pembroke. I think it was definitely formative for me. I think it gave me the confidence to not only do well at UNC Pembroke, but also have that serve as like a launch pad for me to go and do other things. Where would I be today without having had that as a foundation is a good question, but I'm very thankful that I have the foundation of my time at UNC Pembroke. I really do have to thank the board for, I see it as a vote of confidence in not only, where I've been and where I started, but where I am now, and also I think where I'm going and what my ultimate goals are.
Dr. Jacob Shaw could not be with us this evening. He's in New York, and because of travel constraints with COVID, he decided to honor his parents and his aunts tonight. So we're going to welcome, on behalf of Dr. Ramon Jacob Shaw, to accept his award, Eddie and Rose Jacobs, his mom and dad, and his aunties can come up too. It brings me great honor to share more about our 2021 Outstanding Alumni of the Year. Not only has he given great service and dedication to his community, but he has also tremendously impacted our nation with his military service. He is dedicated and loyal, and most of all, humble. Please take a look at our 2021 Outstanding Alumni of the Year.
Colonel Carl Mason earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from then Pembroke State University in 1989 and has since gone on to earn 3 master's degrees at various institutions as a commitment to his lifelong learning. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army through the ROTC program at UNCP and has since provided meritorious service as a member of the armed forces, including a stint at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. A highly decorated officer as well, Colonel Mason was selected to be the next commander of the 407th Army Field Support Brigade in 2019.
I'm honored that you guys thought enough of me to choose me, and I am definitely an ambassador to carry the name. Because I want people to give Pembroke a chance. So when you look at all the colleges in North Carolina, I'm sure people have different ones to say. But just as people are proud to go to Chapel Hill or Duke or North Carolina A&T, I'm proud of going to Pembroke. The first thing that impacted me is the care that the professors took. I left, went overseas, played ball, and came back, and I met my wife there. So I love Pembroke so much I came back. Graduating from Pembroke was definitely what propelled me on to the success I've had today. Was unbelievable, and it was an honor to my parents and my family with that. So Pembroke has been it's a huge part of my life, but it means everything. And it's also great for my children to see, so that they can see that you can be a success, and you don't have to go to Harvard or Yale. You can come from a Pembroke and you can rise to be a colonel in the Army, a brigade commander leading over 7,000 people.
Please welcome Colonel Carl Mason Sr., our 2021 Outstanding Alumni of the Year. So this process has been heartwarming, as you can see. Makes me even prouder to be a Brave and a graduate of UNC Pembroke. And I just thank you all for sharing your evening with both us in athletics. We have had an amazing time. At this time, I want to welcome Mr. Steve Varley to bring our closing remarks. He is our Vice Chancellor of Advancement.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Mr. Christie. Thank you, all your award recipients, families. As much as your awards and your honors and accomplishments reflect well on you, I want you to know that these accomplishments are really improving the value of a UNCP degree everywhere. So when you succeed, the entire university family of alums succeed. Likewise, as our graduates, our new graduates this year, last year, as they walk across the stage and they go out into the world and they say, I got a world-class education at UNC Pembroke, it improves the value of your degree and your experience. You know, a benediction really means a good word, so a good closing word. I think maybe we all stand up. We're going to wrap up in just a second. I'm going to give you a good word and send you out. As much as this generation is wonderful and accomplishing and having a great experience at UNCP like you had, they do need our help. So if you are one of the many folks who have donated to this university, to the Student Aid Fund, to the Braves Club, to our team sports, to an endowed scholarship, let me say thank you. It really does change lives. If you haven't yet, I don't know of a better use of your funds than to support this next generation and provide the same experience to our students and have a chance to change a life like your life was changed. So let me just leave you with the final good word, which is to say that the testimony of your life and your experience as you go out and change lives through and impact people from UNCP is the value of this university. So your experience, your work, your lives is such a foundation for us to build on. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. We've got a lot more celebrating to do. Go see Vanilla and go Braves!